exactly where things move through here. Just want to hold these edits and look out. No reason to apply too much pressure just yet. He's kind of waiting to see other players that may be around him rotating away, and that's exactly the play. Bucky, by the way, a player that we've seen in competitive qualifiers. He actually spent some time talking to Hogman a lot to refine his gameplay and his drop. We've seen a big improvement since then. Good shout out to Hogman for helping Bucky out with that one. All the way here to the World Cup Solo Finals.
Will he use one of the campfires in the inventory for 25 extra health?
It depends on It depends on the play. If he's looking towards late game, he's going to try and hold on to those for a heal off potentially when that final zone starts to close. We'll have to see. A quick reminder, by the way, on the right side of your screen, a victory royale. The win is worth 10 placement points. Those are big. Top 5 is 7 points. Top 15 is 5. Top 25 is 3 points, and every single elimination for these players is an additional point. Here we go, the focus of the current map right now. A lot of players out here on the hill. Northeast side of Neo Tilted, actually a pretty good spot. You have multiple slips nearby. While those are still on, you have to remember those do turn off. Sky picking shots, I believe that's on DRG, just south. No pressure applied there. He's trying to sneak any shot he can through. Actually, it's challenged. Surprises me. Doesn't go for the build there to protect and get a better spot.
Wow, that's solid damage, though.
Just go for it.
Solid damage, and look what's also on the ground right there. The legendary infantry rifle. Still can swap to that when needed. Right now, choosing to go with the spray weapon. This is a player that's close. We have a replay coming on in soon of Mega from FaZe, who played yesterday in the duos. There it comes through, and near max materials, slurp juice as well as chug splashes will be sitting pretty with the inventory right there. The next zone did just pop on up, moving to kind of the eastern side of the current zone. And what we're seeing right now from Skite is Skite recognizes he's got extra materials back, so he's going to run back, build out a little bit, grab the excess materials, and continue to tunnel with these mats. He's also juggling items over as well to still have the ability to use these whenever he would like to wish to in these next zones. Here's everyone on the map, a rocket being fired on the far side. Bizzle there still on your screen. Commandment, Epic Whale. Prisionero still boxed up in metal just outside the zone, and Stompy, who was one of the more dominant European players in the online qualifier, still in this one, but Zate was in the lead with Staff yesterday, 5 of the 6 games, but in the end, not able to close it out. You see, just continuing to spray, is above the damage threshold. This next threshold of players, Dr. Lupo, 50. So we're about a minute away before it activates. Bizzle with elimination, though, down on the Stacey.
At this point, too, you have a lot of players. Crunch is going to start to happen. Player count starting to dwindle. The loadout here in Zade's inventory, a single shadow bomb going to be used for rotation if he has to. Not quite yet, though. He's already in the next safe zone. That heavy sniper rifle we just saw moments ago, and he'll probably go for it again. He's going to knock out a wall and immediately swap to that legendary AR to try and take shots while the wall is gone, while the player may not be paying attention. This is a big one right here. Immediate swap, a 69 shield pack, solid crit through the wall. They do box up, but it looks like at that moment he saw the box was being pressured from another player and decided to go for it. Keep in mind, here we go. Keep in mind, no healing for Zate, so you can see just how cautiously he's taking these fights. Oh yeah. Also today in solos, there's no longer the threat, Dr. Lupo, of the double heavy sniper. Sure, we've seen solo players try to use it to their advantage by themselves, but it just is not the same effect. Lolboom, bottom right of your screen, Zate, top left of your screen, both with 2 eliminations so far, and here comes Storm Surge for players pushing on in. Not a threat for Lolboom as he's 409 above, but Karhu did just go down to that Storm Surge, so an unfortunate game number 1 there, and some free shockwave grenades to pick up. Dr. Lupo will be extremely useful in these rotating zones, and oh man, Lolboom is eating the stink bomb. 50 damage, Dr. Lupo. Terrible, terrible spot to be in for Lolboom. Lolboom, a solo Irishman, qualified for the World Cup here. Gonna have to push on through and try and make his way to the next safe zone. Multiple ballers on the outside. He might be able to grab that one in the water right there if he sees it when he pops out. Have to wait and see. Vivid on your screen. Evil Mare still there as well. Saw him rotating in. Multiple ballers still on the field.
Look at that build.
Look at the, yeah. This is like a Fortnite World Cup apartment complex. You have countless players stacked in next to each other. Bizzle going for the edit reset, can't quite catch himself just yet.
Buga's still making plays happen. A lot of people have him high up on the leaders, and here it is again. Yarkos with the elimination from earlier on, down onto Aqua, who obviously was our Fortnite World Champion yesterday in duos. Rough start in game number 1. Bizzle, one of the most consistent and winningest Fortnite pro players of all time, Dr. Lupo. When you say a veteran in Fortnite competitive, Bizzle is at the top of that list, but here's Yarkos again. Now on the high ground after that first elimination, down onto Aqua, looking for more right now as he's got ultimate high.
This is one of the best spots in the game right now. We'll have to see where the map is going to rotate, the north-northwest, so he's going to have to make a move soon. A very hefty weapon loadout. Not a whole ton of rotation. Does have the 2 launch pads, does have the redeploy, but those are going to leave you exposed up in the air. Little look back, King. Rotation here. The feed starting to light up. 38 players.
Oh, yeah.
And that count is going to go down, down, down. Zate eliminated by Left Eye. Colorful taking up another one out as well. King, 4 eliminations. You have to remember, placement points don't kick in until top 25, so he only has those 4. But those are 4 very, very big points. Here we go, the Storm starting to pressure players. You're going to see a lot of launch pads and redeploys coming to play, and those community movement mechanics like launch pads placed on the ground would be tough. A player actually just flew right through King's box.
That could have been bad, Dr. Lupo. That could have been real bad.
Maybe a trap play from either player. We'll have to see here. Benji fishing the feed, taking another elimination. Top 35 now. Jacks, we're coming 30 seconds away from the next circle.
And Mr. Savage trying to contest Rux for height as they both continue to build on up. Mr. Savage goes for the shot. Rux gives it up for the moment. So game 1 right now, the height goes to Mr. Savage, but there's still a ton of time left. On the low ground right now, you've got Pika week, Class week, Fledermoy's week, Tuesday week as well. Mr. Savage has shot down Rux for the moment. He still continues to keep height. Yarkos, though, looking to challenge right now. 27 players left. Placement points about to come into play.
Yarkos takes the ultimate high in the backside there. Riverside's Team Liquid flying across right to left of your screen. Multiple players. Ultimate low ground warriors down there, both in and out of ballers. Class looks like he might be a campfire in the middle of it. Mr. Savage.
King at 7 limbs and has made it into placements. King absolutely the #1 performance so far in game 1. 120 in total HP. Can he find his limb? No! As the crowd erupts. Top 20 now, though, but King got the job done. There was 27 players left, Dr. Lupo. King eliminates the last 2 to make it a top 25 for the placement points.
Huge plays there. Waylon Kurtz going down to the feed. What a shot and a quick edit swap there. Buga showing why he's one of the most active.
Top 15.
Players. Top 15. Meg with an elim. Your feed in the top left. One of the most important things to watch if you're looking for players' names. Here he's going to have to wait and bait players out. Movement now. Here it is. The Shadow Bomb for rotation. He's still got 2 more in his inventory, which this late in the game is huge. He does have 3 shockwave grenades as well, in case height needs to be taken, or even a long-range rotation. 8 players remaining. Jack Yarkos, 4 eliminations. Everyone in here getting those placement points. Beam from above and goes down. No builds. Going to be tough there. Saw him picking up that elim. Buga, though, 5 right now moving forward.
Not only that, 2 shadow bombs left, still with shockwave grenades too. The #1 point we've seen in competitive Fortnite this weekend, when do you use the shockwave to go for height? It's Sam currently on height. Buga sees that. That was him taking a look for exactly where the player is. I think it's time, Dr. Lupo. No shadow bomb will be used. Okay, so not quite doing it yet.
Looking for a high ground.
Yeah, I was looking to see.
He's saving those. Don't you worry. I guarantee before too long, a player like this is going to make plays. Sitting the edge of the Storm, the box up. He's going for edit shots. Big hit.
My gosh.
The outside. Buga picking up his 6th elimination. Creo, Rux, Buga all on the low ground. Bella EU.
One player to shockwave the height. It's still Sam up top.
Still got it. Same floor as Creole. 1v1 up top, 1v1 on the bottom, stuck in the box. Big hits, back-to-back shots. Buga picking up another elimination.
Buga is insane
now. Almost going to be his game to win. We'll see here another one. Can he find the 9th elimination and the first victory royale, the World Cup solos?
Dr. Lupo, it might be time soon. It might be time soon. Buga smiling. He's got the health advantage on Creo.
Does.
Folks, it might be time for the shockwave play. Buga could soar up into the sky. Go for it. Here it is. Shockwave to height. right. Shots coming in. No elimination yet for the first game victory royale.
Oh my gosh. Confident play from Booga. They know exactly how to get there as fast as they can. And there are so many materials down here. This also is one of the highest chest spawn counts in the entire game. This POI is insane.
Yeah, I believe 29 possible chests or something along those lines. But as MQ says, you know what, let me roll away for right now. Give that to Mr. Savage. Over to Snobby Shores. It's Hornet putting the spray down with that heavy assault rifle. Only 19 AR shots left, Dr. Lupo, so we'll have to use them wisely here. 8 players have dropped so far in the zone. More of a southwestern side zone on this one, so already some good variation between the zones in game 1 and game 2. Hornet would continue to move slowly but surely over to Nyx. So again, looking at the map, looks like a lot of players still outside the zone as you'd expect, but they'll begin to rotate on through as the first storm will close.
Going plenty of time to make decisions. Force engagement there. The tree disappears, and that drum shotgun spewing shells out. Going to push inside the box. Can't quite get the wall if the trap was placed. No luck there. Doesn't have one in the inventory. Nyx still trying to apply as much pressure as possible without having to chew through too many rounds. Reload here. The drum shotgun. So much damage dealt with this thing so far. Wouldn't be surprised if he goes in for it here in just a second, and he does. Watching that corner, Hornet still on the defensive. Long-range spray from a drum shotgun isn't enough, but up close, the thing is very, very deadly. Nyx picking up first elimination for him in this game.
Also with the emote after the elimination, so that's 2 so far. This is spicy.
Jack, you love
I love this.
You'll love it.
I get like 1 eliminate for every 3 games. So every time I have the option to vote on an opponent, it's fantastic.
Aggressive gameplay from those players during their qualifying matches.
All they would do was kind of just stomp through their lobbies. We always talk about how insane it was. Here's the inventory for Tfue right now. 4 minis, 3 big shields.
Good lord.
4 shadow bombs.
Good lord.
A launch pad, a legendary infantry rifle, a blue pump shotgun. Tfue set up for the rest of this game, nearing max materials as well. This is what happens when you give this man block all by himself.
Nobody wants to challenge here, but it's one of the best loot spots in the game. Babs over on the right side of your screen, going to try and take that southeast corner building, see if there's anything left inside, but there's so much loot here at the block, so many materials, so many opportunities to get an advantageous position too, because you're right up the hill, like I said before, this baller spawns up there. Those are going to get grabbed pretty quick, but if they don't, if you're lucky enough, you have free rotation as well. It's also not terribly far from a slipstream to the south, just past the umbrella quarry down there. Meanwhile, Mr. Savage stuck in a 1v1 down here at Happy Hamlet. There's actually 3 players total. My apologies. You see on the mini-map in the bottom right there. They can't see those arrows, but we definitely can. And Crew and Takamura still down inside in the building. Audio cues trying to listen for each other. Takamura, you see, not really moving. Crew trying to do some wall replacing to build up a little bit of a material buffer in case fighting does happen here. I think Mr. Savage is going to rotate out.
Here is Tfue with a player just in front. Looks like a fight he's potentially looking to take. Not sure exactly what the health is of the opponent just ahead, but you got to think, okay, so there is a health advantage. Maybe Tfue did a bit of damage as Kluja will begin to heal on up. So it does look like Tfue damaged a player, thought about challenging, but for right now, we'll just box for a moment. They are very, very soon going to have to move towards his zone.
If you're watching online and you get an opportunity here to clip some shots from Tfue, it's going to be very accurate. We've seen it before, and we'll see him again with that infantry rifle. One of the best in the game.
That was kind of greedy from Tfue. He has a ton of materials. I think he didn't expect his opponent to challenge and go for a shot, but because he tries to save a couple walls of wood, has to pop one of those big shields, and Kluja says, you know what? I'm out of here, and the zone's already there, so Tfue has a long trek ahead of him. Might have to decide if he's going to use the launch pad here. Probably not, as he does have the slipstreams down below, but still will take some damage from the storm.
If there is a rift spawn up at the burger, he can take the zip across, jump off midway through, and go down and grab it. We'll see.
Booga eliminated to start off this game in 90th place. So our game 1 winner out early on, which means that 9-point lead will surely be cut down as this one goes on. Quick thing I want to remind everyone of, yesterday we were nearing the #1 trend in the world on Twitter. I'm going to challenge all of you right now. Use the hashtag Fortnite World Cup across everywhere. Send in how you're watching today. Let me know who you think's going to win. Hashtag Fortnite World Cup everywhere from the millions of you all tuning on in. Can't stress that enough. let everyone know that the largest event, one of the largest events of all time, concludes today with a $30 million prize pot in total throughout the weekend.
Keenstar holding an edit here. Stuck in a little stalemate. He's going to hold that side, look for the shot. Can't quite find his player. Backs out of that. Not fast enough to
Mr.
get it.
Savage goes down to Mega.
Big names eliminated early in this game two, the World Cup solos. Keenstar holding this edit yet again, just trying to wait and watch to see if he's going to spot this player and make a move. This might be an opportunity to make a play here. Twins kind of baiting the ultimate high ground here. Little resets, can go for a wall replace. Let's get it. Pressure apply, gonna jump up. He built the ramp preemptively to defend against any shots. Here it is, a shot from the side does make contact. Twins down to 90 total HP. Big hit there with the shot. He can try and rotate up on the outside, getting pressured against the edge of the storm, and a build-off is kind of the only answer at this point. Quick, and it's down, doesn't quite find that the player inside ahead of him has the lead. Another big hit, 14 HP left for Twins. A build fight is all he's got left. He could shadow and try and get away, but if the player inside is smart enough, Keenstar knows exactly where to shoot. Twins is going to go down. We'll see here. One pump is all it takes, though, with this thing. 150 HP.
Oh my gosh.
Almost going down there. No shield remaining. A back and forth between these two titans of Fortnite. And there it is. Keenstar finding the lead for the shotty there, and Twins eliminated.
Move towards Storm Surge kicking on in. I do want to point out where this next zone is. Spoke to production. We'll bring that back in for you all to see just how insane zone number 2 will be for everyone on this map.
Actually, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, because they have a long, long run ahead. Look at that.
All
a
the
third
way
of the
to
zone
south side.
off the map.
Not only are you forced all the way to the bottom of the map, you've got nothing on the south end of the safe zone. The players going to get compressed together. I would expect going into circle 3 or 4, you're going to see a very low player count in comparison to last game. We're already down to 75. And Storm Surge now getting ready to kick in. You have 5 players that need to go down before damage starts to go out to those that have not dealt enough of it. Yep. Multiple players bunkering up here at Happy Hamlet. Not a whole lot of real estate left. Shots going out there. You heard that minigun, one of the very, very good weapon for applying pressure to structures, especially when you see other players are taking shots at the same target. Fight in the top left of your screen there. Replay between Niddle, opponent inside the box. Caught above, headed down. Can't quite find the first shot. Follows through with the second, third, fourth, and the elimination.
He had 1 health left. If you looked after the 50 health was earned, he was stuck at 50, meaning he was under 1 HP. He had effectively 0.9% health. And goes down right there. His opponent can't win the fight as he's rewarded. Nakamura on your screen, 179 total HP, and that's a tough battle you have here, Dr. Lupo. Do you use your last healing item in the big shield for only 21, or do you hope maybe 179 health is enough for the next fight? It's a double-edged sword, a tough decision to make. Storm Surge still active. 4 more players need to go down before it ends.
Trying to get the wall there, can't quite find it. Quick edit up and out. Going to make the rotation away. Waiting. This is just an opportunity. He's basically trying to bait to see if the player inside is going to head out. Shockwave. Lecce hits the tree. It might cost him. Pressure being applied now. The 1v1 not over quite yet. Combat shotgun from above right here will be very effective. The spread from a top-down position like this is like a guaranteed crit. Here we go. Shot from behind. Can't quite make contact yet.
Zone now heading for 2 as well.
Player's going to have to go for it very soon. Here we go. Another shockwave to push away. Storm Surge is active. He's way above, and those bandages are going to be key to survival. We'll see. I guess the swap in position. Lecce took the high ground temporarily here.
They're at a point now where they basically just one of them needs to get in the fight. One of them needs to win this fight if they want to survive for the 50 extra health. Lecce slowly taking this damage. 2 ticks every second, and it's going quick. Dr. Lupo now down to just 12 HP. This could be done here momentarily. This shot, no! Marvin wins it with the quick shotgun to the dome, and you see, using 4 bandages, the 50 health puts him back up to 100. It should be enough to move on in. Storm Surge now over as well, and the next zone just popped up, and it's even more southwest. Tifu still alive in this game. So far, 0 eliminations, still though with this magnificent inventory for the late game.
I just want to say that the bait outside in the storm, forcing your opponent to take damage knowing that they're not healing through their own HP, basically a way of weakening them, and then you choose the time to engage, means you don't even have to be as active as before. That shotgun, Tfue taking a couple shots on that player on rotation with the Shadow Bomb. A little more difficult to see them since they're basically invisible. They are a shadow.
Yeah.
Is that why they call it a Shadow Bomb?
Not entirely sure yet, as I'm still figuring that out. Tfue not safe in the next zone. Is he going to use the launch pad? Is he going to try to use whatever his opponent places down right here? Oh, no.
Damage being applied. Going to attempt to try and bait. Doesn't put down that launch pad. Here we go. Thought for a second he might go for the right. Chooses not to. Flying past multiple players in.
Shadow Bomb.
And here we go. Shots from the backside. Pressure being applied on Tfue, and he's going to have to box up for just a second. There it is. Shadow Bomb and door edit. He'll make a move on the outside. He is in the shadow form still, and you can keep this by jumping against the wall.
That was not a good Shadow Bomb, I can tell you right now.
Gotta be disappointed there. Big hit from above, down to 55 HP.
Move right at you. You see Karu does go down to Diego GB in your elimination feed. A drop coming on through. Crew boxed up. Creo boxed up. Rux on the Storm is going to move quite quick, Ben. And they've got to be ready for it. There's already the first shockwave used. Rux trying to shoot them from behind. Not able to get elimination there. Class so far away. Will use the launch pad and just begin to move towards this circle.
Have to think at this point with both
this alpha from Rux right now.
He's a dinosaur.
No, I'm talking about his real life alpha.
He's a dinosaur.
He's set up to play in the Fortnite World Cup at 1, and then he's got a dinner date at 7:30. So good for him.
Listen, class is everything, Jack.
I mean, the guy looks great. I'm going to give a shout out for that. Best dressed, 2 extra points. A Fortnite World Cup champion right there, Rux. But
only a 6 damage tag from the side there. Didn't have to panic too much. That I would panic a little more about.
When you have no movement.
Quick beam on aspect up the ramp. Caught off guard by an edit play. A shot through the wall. Gets the follow through with the edit. Nate goes down. He is playing out of his mind right now.
King reminds me of like Vinny and Zextro back from the earlier duo competitions when they would just try to fight anyone they saw. King, 7 eliminations in game 1, now 4 eliminations in game number 2, and there's still 42 players remaining. And there is only one person in the next zone that just popped up, Dr. Lupo. It is as far west as possible, and look at those arrows frantically moving on over as everyone knows.
Being one of our players from Argentina, he is the minimum age required in order to play in the Fortnite World Cup. 13-year-old survivor.
Wait, King is 13?
He is indeed.
My goodness.
Jack is 11 million times better than both of us combined.
Yeah, I mean, that is absolutely ridiculous to think about. Cosmic on the height. Vivid is still alive in this game. Artbro is still alive in this game. Draken's still alive in this game. What does King use here? Looks like Will again place the launch pad, and what you saw right there, a ramp placed backwards to bounce off of it so he doesn't go all the way up and basically a sitting duck up in the air. Kind of flows quite quickly towards the opposing player. King, imagine winning $3 million as a 13-year-old. I mean, I think I would have bought like a Razor scooter when I was that age.
Probably.
And enough ice cream to, well, don't really know where I was going with that one, but to be honest, there's going to be a lot of ice cream.
Surprised that food's the topic here. The push through the air. King getting aggressive into the next safe zone. Here we go. Going to have to hold a wall for just a moment. Little drop down. I like this repositioning. He doesn't want to remain on the same elevation. He's got multiple floors now in case he needs to take a drop there. Yarkos gets beamed from the side. Limited by Scalar. Arkham in the feed. Pick it up. And Elam on Bella EU. Dubs, Bucky, multiple players still in this game on your screen. Clicks taking out Cease in the feed.
29 players left is the big thing to note.
4
more from placement points, which if you make it the top 25, instantly 3 points earned. That is on the mind of every player still remaining, and the zone's still moving west now.
Shots through. Minigun, a quick swap there. Picks the shotty back up. Interesting little play on the fly there from Zell. Trying to do just enough damage to the wall. Here we go. Shockwave. Gonna look for optimal placement. Maybe a little bit of time to disrupt the shockwave into a shadow bomb. 9,000 IQ.
I didn't even know you could do that.
Get all the way across the map and take as high on the mountain as possible. Very excellent play there, positioning the King, the star of the show thus far for game 2. 5 eliminations. We are in the top 25 for placement now, so those points go out. That's got to push King even higher on the board.
Yeah, King was already surging towards the top of our leaderboards. Now could very well be after this game. King spraying on through with the submachine gun. Players moving as fast as they can over this mountain. The left side of your screen, now the full screen. Enku still moving through. Look at how fast he can tunnel. Benji Fishy still alive in this game. Just took down Drakens. Down the hill we go. Road Shark on height right now, but we'll need to waterfall down for a moment. Vivid still followed on up. King down to just 40, 30, 20, 15 HP. Under 10. No, still 17 HP. Will only be at 42 effective health. I mean, if he gets any further than this, it'll be an absolute miracle. And no, down goes King, but I think one of the crowd favorites beginning to emerge today. Fantastic performance at this point. Benji Fishy goes down as well.
A little bit of a crowd building up behind him. Dubs still in a baller at the bottom.
Top 15.
Star sitting on 2 eliminations in this. The entire field is at the bottom of your screen on the left with Road Shark remaining up top. Forced into the drop. Let's get away. Looks like a shadow bomb is safe from any fall damage. Vivid beamed on the rotation up the ultimate high ground.
Vivid's on height.
Still there too.
Vivid's on height.
It's an opportunity here. It can capitalize and take shots on all these players rotating. At this point, Vivid's best bet is to force players out of ballers into fights. You don't want to let them remain inside and safe. If you pop them out, it may be an exposed position. Other players will take shots, and that's going to get you in a better place.
Look at the ballers. The ballers beginning to scale the mountain. Vivid, I think, still has high ground. Has time to pop a mini by chance? Nope, nothing as of yet. Now the fight for height begins. Vivid building out up Arkram in your elimination feed now into our top 10. Issa, the controller god as many regard him as, takes down Sam. Another one onto Thatch too. So Issa from Europe getting involved in this game as well. Vivid and Road Shark all the way on high ground. Still multiple ballers in play. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the Fortnite World Cup Solos competition. This is game 2 of 6. And oh no, Vivid has lost the high ground, but he says no, this is mine, young man, and takes it right back. No mats, no mats, no life. Vivid is out of this game. But he got the limb. He got the limb on a Road Shark.
He's at 2 eliminations, sitting in the middle of the pack right now. 7 players remaining. The end of game 2 right before your eyes, folks. 120 total HP. He can't spend any time out of the zone right now. Player going down inside the box. Can't quite get in. One right behind outside. Can't find a beat. Issa goes down, placed in 4th. A 1v1. Dubs, the ultimate high ground. The crowd cheering behind him, looking to see if he can capitalize on this advantageous position.
Down low, it's Dubs versus Skite.
A little bit of a build-off between the 2, layering defensively against each other. But Dubs,
no build.
Build. The flint knock to save him on the drop might be the play. Just outside, ahead of the build. Maybe can catch himself.
Oh my gosh, is he getting captured?
Around, inside the storm. This might be it. Shockwave into the flint knock, into the safe zone, doubling back, another one, a valiant effort. He's got to find a beat, but he won't be able to do it. Ladies.
No, Skite is still in 6th place.
Yeah, it's wild to think about that that's what it took for him to be able to climb up into the top 10. Only 2 eliminations to his name, currently standing. But we're going to keep eyes for the time being here as we head on over to Junction. Back. King has been eliminated off spawn.
Wow, that's huge. That's going to be a real big setback. We've seen players like Zayt and Zap really fall behind yesterday off of one game not going their way.
That is rough, man. That is certainly not going to be pretty for him. But hey, you have 3 more games remaining. You just got to shake that one off. Moving on, though, we're checking out the action at hand here. You're going to have Tuzel pushed right in. He's going to make him pay. That's going to be an elimination on to Fletimoy's. Well done. Number 1 on the board.
I'll be honest, I wouldn't trust myself with that Magnum, but he gets right up on him and hits him in the chest. Here now with Crew.
That was the shot. Oh, Crew, no chill. Right on the sky platform, too.
That was how King was taken out. Couldn't even land safely. Got pinched right out the sky. That's rough.
Because there's nothing you can do. You're in a glider state. You're just floating down. You're hoping that no one's looking right at you. Players at this point, they're going to go for those shots, those open opportunities. Then you got Tuzi. who had just picked up an elimination earlier on. The circle is going to be over in the ice biome, so by Polar Peak, Frosty Flights area, and it's also going to be within Pleasant Park as well. So the eastern part of the map, they're going to have to worry about moving on over to. Clip went for a shot out there.
Yeah, but Clipnote stopped pushing though. He's not using the same strat. He's actually adopted so far. But let's see what Tifu can do in these moments. He's chucking some perfect grenades across.
Yeah, in game one, Clipnote ended up getting everything that he needed and then disengaged out of the block, whereas Tifu took a little bit more time to loot up, get as much as he possibly can. Clipnote from the Brazilian region here, who it's a possibility that he can take him out, but it's going to be very challenging.
Maybe it was just the difference in loadout. Maybe before he didn't have a strong loadout. He's got everything he needs to stick around and take this battle. And that's why you see him playing with such confidence now. And this could just be his game.
And it was also admirable of him as well. You know, qualified week 9, last chance to do so. Argentinian player as well. Then you got Takamura now. Sees a player right in front of him. Happy Hamlet is where this fight's going to be taking place. As Clarity G really made it to the end game in game 2. Had high ground there for a moment. Thought he could have pulled that one off. Mr. Savage has eyes on Clarity G, does put the pressure on him. Now Clarity's going to have to deal with a player that's behind and in front of him. So just shadow bombs on out of there. He's going to have another one to use as well in case he needs to pop it, but it doesn't seem like anyone's going to be paying any attention to him for right now.
There's over 6 players landing at Happy Hamlet, but we're jumping right into this battle right here. Unknown Army, who has had the time to prove to the world that he is here to bring the heat. Early on in our competitive days, Unknown Army was known. Take over, Golden.
This is it, man. Unknown Army, one of our first controller players. Actually, he was our first controller player to qualify for the Fortnite World Cup. Perhaps this is going to be the opportunity that he was looking for, Monster. Put himself on this stage. Get a big opportunity. Things have slowed down here for a moment. He's looking to overtake that roof. He can get possession of that, head it on out. That's Commandment. Commandment's going to be sitting at the top 5 if I'm correct currently. A good fight here between 2 quality players.
Not a battle he wants to lose. There's a lot to prove here. Unknown Army, one of the few controller players in it. We saw Wolfies have a big day yesterday. That wall's his. He's got the aggro. The last one is not, though.
He's charging right in, and Commandment's going to have to get out of there. Didn't want to deal with that player. He knew the Unknown Army just had that beat on him. Wisely enough, and look at the health there. That's why Commandment does not want to go for that fight. He's going to be in dire straits right now, as Unknown Army does have the life lead.
He's just taking all of these platforms, too. He's gaining control slowly but surely. Nice little peek right there. He goes for the staircase first. So clean.
Doing this all with a controller. You know, we have millions of players that play on controller at home, and he goes in, does apply white damage. One more, that's gonna do it. Commandment was in 3rd place, and Unknown Army now made him put in the place that he wanted him to. Dominant.
And a little taunt to throw some salt on the wound right there. Now hopping to the other side of the map, we have Blaster, who's looking for a vehicle. He does have a baller. His main priority right now is metal and more loot.
Let's take a look here. We got Martine. He's got eyes on a target. Also using his Sky Stalker skin. One of my personal favorites. Charges forward with that drum gun. Close range, but no! It was Low Boom who gives him the hands there. Fun fact, Christian, our boy from Fortnite VR Live, told me look out for Low Boom. Someone to definitely take eyes on. They did eliminate one another, though. So Boom, not in this one. Maybe you'll find some better luck in games 4, 5, and 6.
Yeah, that is the risk you take when you jump into someone's box here in the Fortnite world. Leshy, another controller player, bringing it back to the good old nostalgic Tilted Towers for that close-range PvP. He's going to get shot a few times right there, but still keeping his cool. He has plenty of extra shields and mobility. Shockwaves are going to be great for maneuvering around this congested area. That's what it is. 4 players in Neo tilted right now. You have to be careful.
This is a controller battle, actually.
We'll see who can best one another here. Leshy's probably looking to take this wall. All right, he's going to break into the building now, get that high ground over his opponent. Astonis is just waiting, not making a sound here, seeing if he can bait Leshy into a trap play. Let's see. He's going to fall for it. Will he make a mistake? And that's really what it is, right, Golden?
Yeah, it is. when players are on that stage here in the audience, the crowd, everyone cheering, there's obviously going to be that added pressure. We talked with a few of the players before the game started today. The number one thing that I think everyone brought up to me was just the volume, right? The sheer presence of where we are. And some of them even went as far as to say, yeah, I don't think I'm going to look up at all. I think I'm just going to focus on the screen. That's what I know. No reason for me to try and go above and beyond anything else, right? Sometimes the moment can take you away.
You can see both points of POVs right here, both points of views.
Yeah.
They're looking to take any walls that they can just to, gain control, have a little bit of an advantage here.
Yeah, this is basically like the Fortnite equivalent of an arm wrestling match right now. Maybe for some of our parents who are joining us here for the first time, haven't watched Fortnite before, they're really just struggling to try and get positioning over the other player. That is the struggle that they're wrestling with here. See, use wrestling again, worked out well that time.
All right, Lesh this time has decided to commit. He is now down face to face. There is nowhere Astonish can run. He goes into it.
Oh,
lands
man.
the two shot. And that's the little tactic right there. If there's a ramp in front of the wall, you have to recognize you are in big danger because there's a nifty little trick to get you in that box.
Another one of my favorite players here. You got Legidian. He's going to be in a fight right now. Moves on the side, goes to the high ground. Oh, man. That is rough. Legidian not having the best games at this point in time.
Pizza's placed 8th on average when he qualified in the online opens. On average, across every game he loaded into. That's very high for placement. And now he's picking up elims. Unfortunately, like we said here, Legidian just not really connecting the dots today, but it's not over yet. We're only halfway through this competition here.
There's Lechi who has to get out of there. Whew, that could have been very dangerous, but gets an elimination on Kinstar. A massive elim here for Leshi, who's sitting right now at 2 elims currently in this battle at Neo Tilted.
Representing for all the controller players across the world, Leshi, very dangerous. It's going to be a huge upset right there.
And you just get close range with a player like Leshi, and they'll punish you, right? When you have the controller, you have that little bit of the ability to just L-trigger. You're going to have, and I know some people are going to be like, oh, L-trigger, low, whatever. But the reality is, right, you got the full use of your arm. They have the use of your thumbs. But when you push in for there, you just don't want to box with them inside of that. It's very rough to deal with.
Maybe Ruck said it best, just the age difference. Leshi's 15, could just be a little fast when kids start here.
Yeah, I know. When I was 15, I was nowhere near as good as this with a controller. So, and I competed for a very long time. That crew was just in this fight here for the moment. He does get ownership of the wall because that player does disengage above him, and he hears that movement all around. You can also get an eye on the bottom right of your screen. You can see the mini map where players are going to be located. The player we're typically on is going to be that white triangle, but that blue triangle, that other player goes right in for the fight, is going to knock down the shield just a little bit there. He's going to have minis to be able to top himself back up.
This is very intense here, going.
Yeah, Shockwave. Yeah, you don't want to go for that fight. Shockwaves are so important. Players saving them for that late game. And in some cases, they'll just use it, disengage. You don't want to take a fight. There's no reason for you to do so. A lot of players playing cautiously, as they should, with what's on the line here. But Crew, oh, he marches forward. That's number 2 for Crew.
You can see the excitement there. Nice little smirking grin on his face. He throws a peace sign to the crowd when he takes that player Lucky right out. This Happy Hamlet area is so dangerous to rotate through. You have players like Mr. Savage. Now we see Left Eye and Kurtz. Left Eye was responsible, again, for a big upset in the last game, taking out the likes of some huge names towards the end game. But Kurtz here with a heavy sniper. Can he open up a base here and follow up with that infantry rifle? So he's coming up, he's getting his little peek on right here.
I think Ninja yesterday had talked about the infantry rifle, how good that weapon is, and it truly, I mean, the accuracy that you get out of it is absurd. It's something that if you pick it up and you know how to use it, you will be deadly out there in the field. But she has done a lot of times, Ninja, which is why he likes that weapon so much, and I would understand why a lot of our players will go for that as well. When you have the option to, why not? If you got that comfortability with it. Then you got Left Eye. 2 eliminations currently. Has 2 shockwave nades.
And you got to give some respect to Left Eye, who completely left his previous job 6 months ago to fully focus in on competitive Fortnite, and he found himself at the Fortnite World Cup stage. I don't think it gets any better than that. That is a dream story here.
Yeah, in competitive gaming, you take those risks if you want it so badly. If you want it more than you have to breathe, you just go for that moment. You never know what's going to happen. This could very well be a lot of the people in this arena next year playing on that stage. Courage did say that they had the budget, so I'm just going along with what he said. You know?
All right, but here we have
Tfue
playing his classic high ground center map, more or less. He does have a lead for the next zone.
Yep, movement options for him, which in the last game he had the shadow bombs. Didn't really pan out for him because King, very thirsty, went for just all the water he could possibly get out of that one. And I say he certainly was quenched in his thirst. But then Tfue now, this is, sometimes you're flying and then you just become a magnet, and that is unfortunate.
It's Clarity G who picks up Tfue. Unfortunately, right there with one wall open from behind him.
That's
not
so
placed
difficult.
down, unfortunately.
That's so difficult. There are times you fly into the sky and then the entire server just looks right at you.
It's all about timing in Fortnite here, but that's the risk you take. So now looking at Link here. Link putting some pressure up above. Remember, Storm Surge is in effect in these games, so you have to be hyperactive. You have to be proactive for seeking for damage. But when you commit to battle, you are more than likely gonna have to finish that battle. Here we have Robabs. He's kind of looking up. He's holding that edit though. He is ready to open it up. I think he's gonna trade fire as soon as Link goes for the shot.
He's
now they're both playing that little mind game right here. Who's gonna go first now?
New circle, now active.
This is what we like to call a shambles loadout, as Link doesn't have much loot.
No, doesn't have much loot, doesn't have much HP either. He's gonna have to try again in the next game. It's Robabs, does manage to get the better. Oh man, this is intense. Now we're at 62 players remaining. Some players taking fights, others really just focusing on staying alive, staying in this one to the placement points.
That's right. Now we have Leshy back with Leshy. We saw him in Neo Tilted, taking out the likes of Keemstar, Astonish in these 1v1 battles. Clearly not afraid to jump in your box. And oh man, with a loadout like this, 6 shockwaves, 3 launch pads, all the ammunition in the world, and zone favor right now. He is looking very good in game 3 right now.
Yeah, he's got a lot of builds. He's got tons of stuff to work with. No reason why Leshy can't make it to that end game. This is going to be interesting. Controller player. Let's not forget yesterday, Wolfie's controller player getting 2nd place in the Fortnite World Cup Duos competition, along with his teammate Rojo. There's Lechido applying the pressure. With that shockwave nade, he gets right on top of a nice spot, nice position, kind of planning himself, understanding a player's going to be around there, but now all these players looking right at him as he just has to play defense. No choice. Gets tagged up a little bit, loses some of his shields. He'll be okay for the time being.
The amount of players you see on the stadium side that once he's shown his self to that angle right there, and everyone just collapsed on him. That is so scary. And it's still coming in, but he's fending himself off, punishing another player off to the east side right there. Here's Leshy. He can figure out that that player is the same one that just tried to make a move on him. Could spell disaster for Evil Mare.
Evil Mare doesn't have much to work with regarding health, right? He's sitting at just above half HP. Right above him is going to be Clash. Got pieces as well. Down low on the flooring. There's Clash. Good loadout as far as weaponry is concerned. Also has that glider with the HP that he has currently. I want to take advantage of a shadow bomb or something like that rather than exposing yourself to the sky. But this is another play from earlier on, I believe. Actually, no, Storm Surge active currently, and we are in live. Apologies there.
So he's sitting on 2 ballers here. You see one here. He knows his opponent's gonna have to go for one, but I guess a little bit of scouting here is gonna realize someone's waiting. baiting all of the loot as well.
Also off screen, Leshy did take out Evil Mare. You mentioned that before, Monster. Ended up happening. And then Storm now, 65 HP. Where is this player that went in for the fight?
It's Wakey. Wakey's right nearby. Storm and Wakey are sitting now in the zone here. Biding time here. Wakey, 3 eliminations, tied up for the most elims in the game so far. You have Wakey, Leshy, and Aspect, all at 3 eliminations so far.
Just under 50 players remaining in game number 3. Players have boxed up. They want to play this slow game. Wait for anyone to make a mistake. It's going to be hard, but for some players like Dubs, they're going to need it. Because thus far, it has not gone well for, I would say, one of the favorites here.
Dubs did go for the shot, unfortunately could not connect. It looks like Clarity's gonna pick up Core Gaming there instead. Dubs, we saw in the previous game, do that baller all the way to the end game.
Yep.
Really playing slow and methodical here. You can't stand still. Dubs has definitely found himself a target nearby.
You see some, I think they're just looking at each other. They know exactly what's going on. Circle's gonna be closing down now. We're gonna find out where the next one is. And that's when players start to prioritize these rotations, the movement. Dubs does have a baller, which has been his strategy. He did it in game 2. He had the baller pretty much all the way until the end there. Got shot out of it, but it did bring him to a 2nd place finish. Another top 3 finish for him, top 5, top 3, maybe even a victory royale, right? But ideally that,
You tried to catch him right there, you saw that? You wanted to put him in the box for a second there and take it.
Grabbed him right there. Player will have no idea what to do at that moment.
It's actually pretty interesting as well because Class is desperate right now for an elim. He has to really feed off of a siphon. He doesn't have any other way to heal. Even taking the safety edits, making doorways so that he doesn't expose himself even for the slightest bit.
84 builds left for Class. Tons of builds here. And then the Storm. Now the Storm starting to push. Look at Lecce still going for shots as players are moving about. I think I saw a player get right in his face. He did pop that shadow bomb. Now we're going to the game 1 winner, Bugha. He's dealt 420 damage in this match. Hasn't taken a single shot. 1 elimination for him right now. As now the action feed begins to fall. You see so many names getting eliminated 1 by 1. Bizzle out of this one. That was from Lecce, who's having one heck of a game, taking out some big names.
And it is really going down right here. You can just kind of breathe in this overhead view right here.
Man.
Bella EU doesn't even realize he has the high ground right now. Clarity G just nearby as well. Bugha at the upper layers in this end game, just trying to avoid that lower ground congestion.
Yeah.
All these players are just slammed in the middle right here. As Andretta gets the high ground. We haven't seen much of Andretta so far. But you gotta be careful. Those shockwaves will really sting and take that placement from you.
Yeah, he has been laying low so far, but does manage to maintain the high ground. Lost it for a brief moment, but wisely enough went outside of the Storm to regain some of those builds. On the right side of your screen, you got Bugha and Lecce. Lecce, a great game that he's managed to put together with 5 eliminations. Bugha, your game 1 winner, maybe looking to get a 2nd win on the board. How massive will that be for your current 1st place player?
Lecce just picked up his 6th elimination now. He is really popping off right here.
That was on Hoodjay too, a big player there and a big connection for him. Lots of builds to work with. Bugha does get another one. That's Kinzel.
Right through the trap he goes. Bugha, one of the superior box fighters in the Fortnite competitive scene right now.
Lecce went up for the high ground. If you see it on the left side, he went high ground. He does get possession of it, but ends up getting hit there by Andretta and finally eliminated. But what a run Lecce had in this game. Finally comes to a conclusion when he went for high ground. Now it's Bugha again with 11 players remaining. We're about to get into the top 10 here, Monster.
Bugha, last we saw, he does get taken out right there. Unfortunately, it's Peter Pan who takes him out with 6 eliminations. Peter Pan, the dark horse right now. He's gonna get wiped out here too, but it's still a great game. Wakey, who we saw leading in eliminations at one point, is still popping off as well.
Skype's in this one as well. Maybe he's going to get a back-to-back win. Riverson, he's got the high ground. He's got the explodes. He sees players. He has 11 builds, so he has to be very conservative with this. Does pop that player in the baller, forcing them down. Going in for the engagement now. More explodes. 5 remaining left. Player lands in front of him, and he tags him up for a lot of shields there. And Riversand has to reset. Needs to be careful not to get hit by that storm. Someone's going to be above him.
He's too good.
An elimination onto Skype. We're now sitting at a 1v1. 2 players left standing here. Who's it going to be down low? It's Dubs. It's Dubs down low. And Riversand has Dubs on his sight. Who's going to get the win here? Riversand navigating, tarping. He has 7 builds remaining. Dubs trying to play defense, giving himself any kind of cover that he can possibly maintain. But Riversand, a few more explodes remaining. That could punish Dubs.
He's really trying to keep him down to the zone here, Golden Boy.
Oh man, this is it. He sends another one out, and they're just telling him, you gotta run. He goes into it. He's still holding position. Dubs has the high ground, but he lands in front of him, and Dubs gets a victory royale on the world stage.
Absolutely.
Like a Hellcat.